Ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow!
No, we've talked a lot about American politics, Basil, but we talked about American presidents, but you never indicated to me. You know, of course, my favorite American president was the one that was president when I was born for a fair number of years after I was born, Dwight Eisenhower. But you've never actually told me who your favorite president was. All right, give me a clue. Okay. C.A. Well, that piqued my ears a little bit because as you and I, we talk a lot about word games and cats in particular, and C.A. being the first two letters in the word cat. Yeah, okay, I'm on the right track, huh? Okay. Okay. C.A. Hold on, let me take a sip to encourage my thinking process. C.A. The only president with the initials C.A. that I could think of would be Chester. Okay, his ears are twitching now. Okay, Chester A. Yeah, but see, the thing is, though, the last name isn't T, it's G, Garfield. Oh, of course. Chester A. Garfield. Okay. Well, that explains why you had me bring along this book. Starved for attention, the world-famous feline hogs the spotlight in his 17th book, Garfield Chews the Fat. His 17th book. Okay, well, we'll spend a little time on this. Oh, okay, I understand. You want me to actually quote you before I interpret for you. Understood. Okay. Basil just added okay. And now I'll interpret that quote for the non-cat speaking members of the audience. And of course, you kids, Basil really encourages you to learn to speak cat. Because after all, there are more households in America, certainly more households in America, where cat is spoken than the number of households in America where Italian is spoken, where American English is spoken, certainly. Certainly more households in America where cat is spoken than there are households where Ecuadorian is spoken, Brazilian, Portuguese, you name it. You name it. German. Did I mention Italian? Oh, I didn't mention Italian. Okay. But certainly there are more households in America where cat is spoken than any other language. So you'd be doing yourself a grave disservice if you do not learn to speak the language of your house pet, your cat. Certainly, contrapositively, you'd certainly be doing yourself a wonderful service to learn to speak cat. And with that, I'm going to go ahead. Okay, that's that fine? Okay. Okay, now I'm going to just to remind you what Basil said. I'm going to give it to you in cat again. Okay. Okay, and now I'll interpret that. I'll translate that. Darn tootin'. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead, and with my host's permission, I'm going to, and also Jim Davis's permission, I'm going to read a couple of cartoons, and I'll have to give you a little bit of, I can't really show you what the cartoon says, so you're just gonna have to take our interpretation of it. Okay? Okay. Here is one of Basil's all-time favorite Garfield strips. Okay, John walks up to Garfield. I'm going to show the audience so you can see, okay? John walks up to Garfield and asks Garfield, "Are you sleeping again?" And Garfield answers, "I am not sleeping. I'm checking my eyelids for light leaks." Okay. Okay. Well, we got some laughter in the audience from, I'll tell you, we got more chuckles in the audience from a couple of dogs, and of course, behind the camera, our own cameramen, than we did from the cats in the audience. So I don't know, maybe that didn't go over too well. Okay, let's try again. Let's try another one. Okay. Okay. It's another one you have cat-eared. Okay, John and Garfield are having a conversation over a cup of coffee. John says, "You know, Garfield, I've often wondered which are smarter, cats or dogs. Speaking of dogs, where's Odie?" And Garfield passes along, "He's fishing off the back of your rowing machine." That got some good laughter off of from our audience. All the members of our audience had a little chuckle over that one. Okay. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. Basil says, okay. I'll repeat it. He said, me. Okay. And now I'll translate for those in our audience and viewing audience who aren't sharp enough to learn to speak cat yet. Basil said he wants to actually hear back from some of our callers from the Friday night show. We had, of course, a call in from Yaz. We were discussing baseball and discussing a book that Basil's read snippets from about the real reason why the Red Sox went 86 years without winning a World Series championship, and then subsequently how they broke that curse, and how that curse had really, in fact, nothing to do with Babe Ruth. It, in fact, had to do with Eileen Kelt Stevenson. And her son wrote this book and talked a little bit about, actually talked at length about the curse, about the breaking of the curse in 2004, and things that happened in Milford, Connecticut to lead to that curse being broken. Okay, so we had a call in the process. We had a call in from Carl Yastrzemski, Yaz, one of the Boston Red Sox all-time greats. In fact, talking about and complaining about and lamenting perhaps even that somehow or other his name, his nickname, Yaz, was taken and used as a name of a female contraceptive. He was a little upset about that. He said he didn't have much success. He tried to get them to take it back, and without much success, unfortunately. We spent a little time talking about that. We had a call in from a fellow by the name of Mookie Wilson. Wasn't really lamenting his nickname, but he gave us a little bit of background on where his nickname came from. We had a call in from A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, and seemed to be whining a little bit about his nickname and how he really wasn't happy with it. Apparently pacing around the house a little bit, waiting for his wrist to heal so he could come back and pursue the lifetime home run championship. He's only got apparently 4 more people to pass in order: Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Barry Bonds. Okay. So, and we had a call in also from. Oh, okay. We'll get back to this. Hold on a second. Good morning, Basil BuddhaCat presents. Oh, okay. We were just actually getting ready to mention you. Okay, Basil. It's Harvey Haddix, who did call in Friday night. We didn't have much time to talk to Harvey Haddix, but he called in. We were in the process of discussing actually the 1960 World Series, and Harvey Haddix was a relief pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and had a fairly unremarkable career, except one year he came into a lot of tie games that the Pirates played, and in fact, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Mr. Haddix. Okay, he will. Came into a lot of tie games, and just happened to be in the right place at the right time when the Pirates went ahead in a game. And in fact, because of that, he says he'd like to take credit for all of this, but in fact, it was a guy by the name of Elroy Face that we're talking about. Okay. Harvey Haddix actually was an infielder for the Pirates. And yeah, we've got you confused with Elroy Face. Elroy Face, as it turns out, is the fellow who pitched in relief, spot relief for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and managed to get himself into a lot of tie games that year. And in fact, was there in enough tie games where the Pirates went ahead and ultimately won, that he became the pitcher of record on the winning side. In fact, 19 wins and 1 loss as a pitcher, which still stands as the best winning percentage ever by any pitcher. Roger Clemens. Basil says, don't bring up Roger Clemens, because first of all, Roger Clemens was part of the Red Sox crew when the curse was broken, and also Basil says he's not really fond of Roger Clemens. He's clearly not too fond of Alex Rodriguez, who he classifies as being somewhat of a whiner, but the same way that. Now you're going to get into something that I'm not really excited about. Basil mentioned the name George Steinbrenner. Now, the audience knows George Steinbrenner is not one of my favorites because he, first of all, was finally caught giving illegal campaign contributions to one Richard Nixon in 1972, and was convicted and did a little, paid a little money, did a little time, and wasn't... because of that, because of the way he ran the Yankees, in his mean-spirited way. Not one of my favorites. But at any rate, so Basil, Basil says A-Rod's not one of his favorites because of his what Basil describes as being his whininess. But and Roger Clemens is not either one of our favorites. Why is he not one of your favorites? Okay. Basil said. Okay. And now I will translate it for those in the audience that don't speak cat. He's a darn liar. Okay. Fair enough said. Okay. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. Okay. So at any rate, Mr. Haddix, yeah, you played prominently, certainly, in that 1960 World Series between the Pirates and the Yankees, where the Yankees had a substantial lead. I think it was 4 or 5 runs, and important. I think it was the 8th inning. Yeah, this is the 8th inning for the Pirates. Bottom of the 8th, and a ground ball that took a bad hop when it hit something. Hit Tony Kubek in the Adam's apple, and poor Tony Kubek, who was again like Bill Buckner. We had a call from Bill Buckner on Friday night show. Like Bill Buckner, Tony Kubek, who was a pretty darn good fielding shortstop, ended up being in the center of a disastrous play, which prolonged an inning. Would have been a double play. It was an easy double play ball that took a bad hop and hit him in the Adam's apple, knocked him right down, as a matter of fact. Didn't end the inning. No double play. No outs, as a matter of fact, just on that play. And the Pirates scored a huge number of runs, and then up came a fellow by the name of Bill Mazeroski in the bottom of the 9th inning. And here's a guy that, like his counterpart on the Yankees, Bobby Richardson, not a home run hitter. Not by any means a home run hitter. But he came up, bottom of the 9th inning, and I remember that in the 1960 series, that was the series that where Bobby Richardson knocked in 6 runs in one game. It was an interesting series in the sense that the Yankees won 3 games by, I'm going to say, 10-0, 12-0, and 15-0, something like that. Whitey Ford had a couple of shutouts. Now, the 3 games that the Pirates won before Game 7 were by very close scores. So the Yankees really had them in cumulative runs by a lopsided margin. And, okay, up comes Bill Mazeroski, and Bobby Richardson had 2 home runs in one game, knocked in 6 runs. Marvelous game, marvelous series, great series for the Yankee batters. Up comes Bill Mazeroski in the 9-9 game in the bottom of the 9th inning, and promptly pokes a home run and ends the World Series. So that's interesting. So at any rate, thanks for calling, Harvey. And Basil's very appreciative of the fact that your nickname is the Kitten. Harvey the Kitten Haddix. Now, would you like to share with us where that nickname came from? No. You're just pulling my leg, aren't you? Okay. Basil. He says that has something to do with a sex change. No. He's laughing. Okay. So no. Okay. Maybe we'll have you on one day, and you can actually come join us on the show and talk about your nickname and the origin of that nickname. Okay. Thanks for calling. Okay. Now, you wanted me to read a little bit from more from Garfield or from the Poetical Cat, an anthology. Okay, I'll go to this one for a bit. Okay, you have earmarked a couple of them. Okay. Here's a cat-eared one by fellow by the name of Ogden Nash. Okay. Well, we're all big Ogden Nash fans here. Okay. I'm surprised you picked this one out. Okay, but I'll read it though. Okay. Okay, first I'm going to actually read it in cat for the audience members that'll be pleased by that. Basil likes me to do this. He likes me to speak in cat. It gives him a warm, fuzzy feeling. So go ahead. I'll do that. Okay. The Kitten by Ogden Nash, and of course, it goes like this. Meow. Meow, meow. 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 Meow, meow, meow. Okay, and now I'll read it in English. The Kitten by Ogden Nash. The trouble with a kitten is that eventually it becomes a cat. Okay. Okay. And, okay. Guys, see another one you have cat-eared, and I'll read that also. This is one titled Mujer, which is Spanish for woman. Oh, okay. Basil says the reason why he likes a poem with the title Mujer is because it's got a purr built right into it. Mujer. Okay, by William Carlos Williams. Oh, black Persian cat, was not your life already cursed with offspring? We took you for rest to that old Yankee farm, so lonely and with so many field mice in the long grass. And you return to us in this condition. Oh, black Persian cat. Yeah, apparently the black Persian cat went off for a little respite at a Yankee farm, a little respite from apparently quite a few litters of kittens. And sure enough, comes back with another one, another set. Okay. Okay. Didn't expect a call on this line. Tweety, could you figure out who this is from before I answer? Get out. Okay. 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 Hold on. I'm trying to put you on speakerphone, but I'm not able to. So at any rate, okay. Okay. It's Sarah Palin. Okay. Okay, yeah. Would you like to speak with Sarah Palin? Would you like me to continue this conversation, Basil? Basil says, yeah, why not? Nothing else in the oven, nothing else cooking, nothing else going on that's of any... She almost hung up, she said. Okay. She's telling me that that she's introducing, she saw the show with the mention of cheetah. And she says she's going to introduce into Alaska some wild cheetahs. Okay. Now, they don't do well in the wintertime, do they? She says, not to worry. They won't be around beyond about 3 or 4 days when she goes up in the helicopter. Oh, my God. Oh. Okay. Oh. She didn't have to hang up. You used your remote to hang up on her. Okay, fair enough. Okay. 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 More poetry, Basil? More? Okay. Okay, here you go. This one is titled The Cat to His Dinner by Nancy Willard. Okay. And I'm going to read it first in the native language. Maybe not the native language of Nancy Willard, but certainly the native language of Basil and some of the members of our audience. Okay. There's actually a dog out there that claims he can speak cat. But Basil's been slipping him notes during the show. Tweety's been actually flying them in. Tweety's been flying them over to him from the studio, and apparently he doesn't speak very much in the way of cat. Maybe a word or two or three out of the 932,817 words in the cat language. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read it in cat first, and then I'll interpret it into English. Okay, got that? I'll quote him again. I'll read it in cat again. Okay, now in English. The Cat to His Dinner by Nancy Willard. Fern and flower safely keep this tender mouse I put to sleep. Let snow and silence mark the sight of my unseemly appetite. Her bravery, her tiny fall, shall be a model for us all. May God, who knows our best and worst, send me another as good as the first. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. You also wanted me to read this one too. It's apparently from Mother Goose. Okay. It's entitled Six Little Mice, and Basil says you could skip the cat. I just want you to read it in English. We're running a little short of time, so we're just going to go straight to the English version. Six Little Mice from Mother Goose, 17th century. 6 little mice sat down to spin. Pussy passed by and she peeped in. What are you doing, my little men? Weaving coats for gentlemen. Shall I come in and cut off your threads? No, no, Mistress Pussy, you'd bite off our heads. Oh, not, I'll not. I'll help you to spin. That may be so, but you can't come in. Says Puss, you look so wondrous wise. I like your whiskers and bright black eyes. Your house is the nicest house I see. I think there is room for you and me. The mice were so pleased that they opened the door, and Pussy soon had them all dead on the floor. Oh, okay. Okay, and with that, we're going to have to take one last sip for the audience. And at that, I'm going to bid you a good evening, a good day. Thank you for joining us on this fine Sunday morning. It's been Basil BuddhaCat Presents. I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, interpreter, and chief gopher, and enjoy your day.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Fritter her away, her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, on Wall Street. Meow.